Hello. My name is Mary. Our family has always been close, filled with love, laughter, and meaningful moments. My husband, Adam, has been my rock since our college days. Together, we've built a beautiful life centered around our daughter, Maria. She's a curious and bright 9-year-old who lights up our world. Her endless questions and imaginative adventures keep us on our toes, but they also fill our days with joy and wonder. We've chosen to raise Maria in a way that encourages curiosity and learning through exploration. Her spirited nature constantly amazes us, whether she's rummaging through old boxes in search of hidden treasures or turning our backyard into a magical kingdom. Her imagination seems to have no limits, soaring as high as the sky. However, not everything in our family life has been effortless. My relationship with my mother-in-law, Evelyn, has always been a bit challenging. She has a stern and serious personality, something Adam warned me about early in our marriage. Still, I've never seen her as a threat. Instead, I've always thought of her as someone shaped by a tough upbringing, a bit rough around the edges but well-meaning at heart. One sunny afternoon, we decided to visit Evelyn at her home. She's been living alone since Adam's father passed away. Though she would never admit it, I've noticed how much she enjoys our visits, especially the time she spends with Maria. As we drove to her house, Maria's excitement filled the car. She couldn't wait to share her latest discovery, a bird's nest with delicate blue eggs she had found in our garden. "Mommy, do you think Grandma has ever seen a blue egg before?" Maria asked eagerly from the back seat. "I bet she has, sweetheart, but I'm sure she'll love hearing all about it from you," I replied, glancing at Adam. He smiled warmly at me through the rearview mirror, a silent moment of shared understanding. When we arrived at Evelyn's house, the atmosphere was surprisingly welcoming. The faint scent of cinnamon drifted through the air, and soft classical music played in the background, creating a peaceful mood. Evelyn greeted us at the door with her usual formal tone, but there was a hint of affection in her stiff smile, especially when her eyes landed on Maria. "Come in, come in. It's good to see you all," she said, stepping aside to let us in. Her voice carried its typical firmness, but her love for Maria softened the edges. As the afternoon went on, Adam and I helped Evelyn with a few chores around the house. Meanwhile, Maria kept herself entertained in the living room. She quietly played with her toys, occasionally running over to share her discoveries with Evelyn, who, despite her stern exterior, couldn't hide her delight at Maria's chatter and excitement. It was a simple day, but it reminded me of the little joys that make life so precious. Moments like these, filled with laughter, curiosity, and love, are what truly bring our family together. I was in the kitchen, organizing some groceries we had brought for Evelyn, when the peaceful atmosphere was suddenly shattered. "Maria, what do you think you're doing?" Evelyn's sharp voice pierced through the calm, causing Adam and me to exchange worried glances. My heart raced as I hurried into the living room, only to find a scene I never could have anticipated. Evelyn was standing over Maria, her face twisted with anger, while Maria cowered in fear. "What's going on here?" I demanded, stepping protectively between Evelyn and my daughter. My voice was firm, but I worked hard to keep it calm. "Your daughter was stealing from me," Evelyn exclaimed, holding up a few crumpled bills. Her eyes blazed with fury. Maria's small voice trembled as she tried to explain. "It was just lying there, Mommy. I was going to play shop with it." Her innocent words broke my heart. "Evelyn, she's just a child." "She didn't understand," I said, trying to reason with her. But Evelyn remained unyielding, her expression a mix of betrayal and rage. Without wasting another moment, I pulled Maria away from the distressing scene. Her teary eyes gave way to soft whimpers as she clung to me, as though I were her only safe haven. Adam, his face a mask of confusion and anger, silently followed us out of the house. The door closed behind us with a finality that echoed the sinking feeling in my chest. The drive home was filled with tension and silence, broken only by Maria's soft sniffling from the back seat. I kept glancing at her through the rearview mirror, noticing her pale face and red-rimmed eyes. Adam and I exchanged a few helpless looks, but neither of us could find the words to address what had just happened. Once we were home, I noticed Maria's discomfort and made the decision to take her to the hospital. The thought of any lingering injury, physical or emotional, gnawed at me. At the hospital, doctors examined Maria carefully. They reassured us that there were no broken bones, but the bruises and emotional trauma were significant. Sitting in the stark white hospital room, I watched as nurses gently tended to Maria. She clung to her stuffed animal, her small fingers gripping it tightly, as though it were her last line of defense. My heart ached for her. Adam sat quietly by my side, his hands clasped tightly together. The weight of the incident hung over us like a storm cloud. I knew we had a long road ahead, not just to heal Maria's physical wounds, but also to mend the fractures in our family's trust. Whatever it took, I vowed to be there for my daughter and protect her from ever feeling unsafe again. I felt a mix of anger and helplessness. How could Evelyn, someone I had always respected, even if I was a bit cautious around her, react so aggressively to a simple mistake made by a child? This question kept repeating in my mind, growing heavier with each passing second. It didn't make sense, and the more I thought about it, the more upset I became. Once Maria was settled and resting peacefully, Adam and I stepped into the hallway. The look on his face told me everything I needed to know. He was as upset as I was. He looked at me, his eyes filled with the same emotions I was feeling: shock, pain, and a deep sadness that seemed to weigh heavily on both of us. "Mary," he said, his voice unsteady. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen my mother act like that." I nodded, my own emotions threatening to overwhelm me. "We have to do something, Adam," I said firmly. "We can't just let this go. She hurt Maria. She could have caused serious harm over something that didn't even matter." Adam ran his hand through his hair, a gesture I knew meant he was frustrated and unsure of what to do. "You're right," he said after a moment. "Whatever you think is best, I'll support you. What are you thinking of doing?" I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. The weight of the decision was heavy on my shoulders. "I'm going to file a police report," I said finally. "This isn't just about what happened today. It's about making sure Maria is safe in the future." Your mother crossed a line. Adam's face changed then. His jaw tightened, and I could see the determination in his eyes.
"Do it," he said.
"I'll stand by you. Maria comes first. For now, I think we need to cut ties with my mother until we can figure out why this happened and make sure it doesn't happen again." With his support, I made the call to the police from the hospital. Talking to the officer felt strange, almost unreal. It was like I was describing a nightmare, something that couldn't possibly have happened in real life. But the officer's calm and steady responses gave me a small sense of comfort. They took my report seriously and promised to follow up. When I returned to Maria's side, I held her hand tightly. She was still asleep, her face stained with dried tears. I silently promised her that I would always protect her, no matter what. In that moment, my resolve became unshakable. No matter how difficult it would be, no matter the fallout, I knew that keeping my daughter safe was the most important thing I could do. Evelyn's actions had revealed a side of her I had never seen before. It was dangerous, and I knew that the only way forward was to sever ties with her, at least for now. It would hurt Adam, but we both understood that protecting Maria was more important than anything else. Together, we would face whatever came next. When we left the hospital that night, it felt like everything had changed. What had once been a fragile peace with Evelyn was now completely broken. For Maria's safety and for the well-being of our family, we had to make a firm decision to protect her from any future harm. In the days that followed, Adam and I were thrown into a whirlwind of legal and emotional challenges. We stayed firm in our decision. Evelyn needed to face the consequences of what she had done. To ensure Maria's safety, we sought help from a family lawyer. Our goal was to get a restraining order to keep Evelyn away from her. The process was exhausting. We had to fill out endless forms and go over the painful incident again and again, reliving it every time we told the story. It wasn't easy, but we knew it was necessary. While all of this was happening, our main focus remained on Maria. She wasn't herself anymore. The bright spark in her eyes seemed dimmed, and her laughter was quieter than usual. It broke our hearts to see her like that. To help her heal, we arranged for her to see a child psychologist. The first few sessions were hard. Maria didn't want to talk about what had happened. She stayed quiet and closed off. But over time, the therapist used creative ways, like drawings and playing with dolls, to help Maria express her feelings. Little by little, she started to open up. Adam and I also decided to go to counseling. We needed help to deal with our own feelings of guilt and anger. Through these sessions, we learned how to support Maria and, at the same time, work through our own emotions. Despite the stress and strain, Adam and I grew closer. We realized how strong our bond was and how much we needed each other. We faced everything together as a team because we both knew Maria needed us to be strong. Our community's response surprised us. Friends and neighbors were kind and supportive. They brought meals, shared encouraging words, and even arranged playdates for Maria. These small acts of kindness reminded us that we were not alone and that we had made the right decision. On the other hand, Evelyn faced a very different reaction. News of what she had done spread quickly, shocking everyone who knew her. Some people tried to reach out, hoping it was all a misunderstanding. But many others distanced themselves from her, unwilling to associate with someone who could harm a child. This social isolation seemed to affect Evelyn deeply. While it was painful for her, Adam and I believed it was a consequence she had brought on herself. As time passed, Maria started to heal. Her laughter returned, and her cheerful spirit began to shine again. Adam and I focused on making our home a safe, loving space where she could feel protected. No matter how hard things became, we stayed united for Maria's sake, determined to give her the happy, safe childhood she deserved. We took steps to make sure our home and family felt safe again. We updated our security to give us peace of mind and talked openly with Maria about her feelings and how to stay safe. It was important to let her know that it was okay to share her emotions and ask questions. As a family, we also spent more quality time together. We started new traditions, like weekend outings, movie nights, and cooking meals as a team. These small things helped us heal and rebuild the peace that had been disrupted. Even though we were still dealing with challenges, every step we took, whether it was legal action or emotional support, helped our family grow stronger. Slowly but surely, Maria began to feel safe again. Her confidence returned, and laughter started to fill our home once more. One sunny afternoon, Adam and I were sitting in the backyard watching Maria play. Her giggles floated on the breeze, and it was like music to our ears. We looked at each other, feeling a deep sense of relief and gratitude. Our little girl was coming back to us. Her resilience and strength were incredible, and they reminded us of the strength we had as a family to get through tough times. Our home, which once felt like just a place to live, had become a true sanctuary. It was a place filled with love, safety, and happiness. Adam and I became even more focused on protecting that peace, not because we were afraid, but because we wanted to ensure that Maria always felt loved, safe, and valued. We redecorated Maria's room together, letting her pick out bright, cheerful paintings. Her room became her happy place, and soon it was filled with friends during playdates. The joyful laughter and playful energy of children brought a new kind of life to our home. It felt like we were creating a fresh start, one filled with positivity and hope. One sunny Thursday, during one of our weekly family picnics at the park, I watched Maria chasing butterflies with a friend. Her laughter was loud and carefree, and it made my heart feel full. I realized just how much I had missed hearing her laugh like that during the dark months we had been through. Adam was setting up a frisbee game nearby, and he caught my eye. His smile reflected the clear blue sky, and I knew he felt the same relief and happiness that I did. Just then, Maria ran up to us, her cheeks pink with excitement. "Look, Mommy. Look what I found," she exclaimed, holding up a small, oddly shaped rock. Her curiosity had returned, and every little discovery was now a treasure to her. "It looks like it's from the moon," she said with wonder in her voice. Adam and I laughed, sharing a knowing glance. Maria's excitement reminded us that life, with all its ups and downs, was full of beautiful moments like these. It was a fresh start, and we felt ready to embrace it together. I smiled as I hugged Maria, feeling so happy to see her excitement and joy. Her spirit, which had been so dimmed before, was now shining bright again. It was a wonderful feeling. As the day came to an end, we packed up our picnic things, and Maria wrapped her little arms around me tightly. "I love you, Mommy. I'm happy," she whispered. Those simple words filled my heart with pride and joy. In that moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. Everything we had been through, every hard decision we had made, had brought us to this point. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. On the drive home, I watched the trees blur past the window as I thought about everything we had endured. Standing up to protect Maria, advocating for her safety, and making sure our family felt secure, it had changed us in so many ways. It wasn't just about what happened in that moment. It set the tone for how we would handle any challenges in the future. The strength we had built as a family and the unity we had found were proof of how powerful it is to stand up for what you believe in. We learned how important it is to protect each other, to ensure that our family feels loved and safe. These lessons would stay with us forever. As I glanced back at Maria, I saw that she had fallen asleep in her car seat. Her face was peaceful, and she looked so serene. Seeing her like that gave me a deep sense of determination. I realized that no challenge was too hard, no obstacle too big, as long as we faced it together as a family. What we had gone through wasn't just about recovery. It was about finding a new beginning. We had come through the darkness, and now we were standing in the light. I was more determined than ever to keep that light shining brightly for Maria and for all of us. This journey reminded me of what truly matters: love, safety, and the strong, unbreakable bond of family. It's not always easy to stand up against hardship, but it's the most important thing you can do when someone you love needs you. If you were in a situation where a family member acted harshly toward a child's innocent mistake, what would you do? Would you take the same steps as we did, or would you handle it differently? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Thank you for reading this story. If it resonated with you, please like and share it with others who might find it meaningful. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one. Your support helps us keep sharing these heartfelt stories with you. Together, let's continue to celebrate the strength of love and family.